Hello, hello. Yes, guess who's back? It's me, Molly, and thank you so much for being patient as I get into a better space mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually to come back and continue to give it my all for you. I absolutely missed you guys. I know that that sounds so crazy, but it's so true. I missed you so much. I was talking to my podcast manager and I was like, listen, I think I need to come back. And he's like, I know, I can tell that you've been itching to come back. So thank you so much for just sticking around. And I'm really excited to be back. Now, a couple things before we dive into today's episode. I just wanted to give you a quick just life update, because, well, and I want to know too. Shoot me a quick email. Let me know what's been going on with you and what you spent your first quarter on. I would love to hear it. For me, this just kind of naturally rolls into what I wanted to talk about in today's episode, anyways. My quarter one was from a place of true rejuvenation. And who doesn't love good alliteration, right? So I when I was kind of putting down my notes of like what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to share with you guys all today, naturally I just wanted to get you guys updated. I wanted to get you guys back up to speed to where I am and, where we're going. So I spent a lot of quarter one doing a lot of resting, reflection, realignment, and of course, relaunching. And these are the four things that I wanted to talk about in depth with you. I think a lot of what we do is as career coaches and entrepreneurs, we get so hung up on the day in, day out of doing everything of like, this is what I need to do, this is how I need to do it, that we forget that we also need moments of pause. We need moments of true rejuvenation. And for me, the last time I dropped an episode here was right before the holidays. And so I took, what is it, December 14th or something like that, up into today, which is the first week of the new quarter, quarter two, to really think about what do I really want? And I feel like that, for me at least, will always be the $1 million question. It is the lifelong question that I always strive to seek an answer for is what do I want? And me taking this time really helped me to do that. So, with that being said, of course, I would love to hear what you did and how you spent your Q1. For me, I'm going to jump right on into the 4 R's that I spent my time in Q1 doing. Number one, resting. I rested, y'all. I don't know what is in the air, but I have been so physically and mentally exhausted, y'all. And when I say exhausted, I mean it. I typically never, I very rarely ever take naps. But now I have to listen to my body, and my body is telling me, take a nap. I went to brunch with Mike and I came home and I had like maybe it was like an hour and a half break between when we got home from brunch and my next call. And he went to work. And I was like, I'm calling back into bed. Literally rolled back into bed, took an hour nap because of course I had a call, so I didn't want to have like, you know, sleepy voice. And I set my alarm and I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, that felt so good. I don't know what's happening, but something in the stars and the moon, I don't know if you guys are feeling it as well. I have been so immensely physically tired. And so I've been taking a lot of naps. Now, mind you, I'm also turning the big 4-0 this year. And I think a part of that might be perimenopause and just some hormonal changes, which I, of course, am embracing. Like, I think it's beautiful to be a woman. And I think that we go through so many changes as well, which is interesting and timely because I'm also going through changes in my business. But neither here nor there. It's just like I needed that rest. The cool thing about taking this time to rest is that I have also been so much more creative. I have had much more spiritual downloads and pings from God in the universe about what I want to do in my life, what I want to do in my business. And that has really helped to take that Q1 into thinking, okay, here are all of the downloads. How do I want to optimize these? Do I want to optimize this? And what does that look like going into Q2, 3, and 4 for this 2025 year? So resting has been huge. The second R that I spent a lot of Q1 doing has been reflecting. And of course, naturally, as a super type A self, my brain goes to the masculine side of things, right? Like my masculine energy. And so it's easy for me to reflect on what didn't go well. And the cool thing is, it wasn't as much resistance when I was looking at what was working. I struggle with celebration, y'all. I grew up in a very stereotypical Asian American household. I am Hmong American, and it was never good enough. Like an A was never good enough, right? We always strived for excellence, and even excellence had a better better excellence, if that makes any sense. And so I realized that after blending both my masculine and my feminine energy, that holy shit, already in Q1, I already made a third of what I did in my revenue in 2024. So I am well ahead of the game, which is great. And really looking to the end of this, towards the end of this year, it's going to be profitable. So that's really exciting. And of course, naturally looking at the things that didn't work, which was interesting because I feel like so much of what I used to do in 2023, 2024, I felt like was air quote working, but does that work going into 2025? And so the whole what's not working is more of realignment, which is my third R. And as you can see, this is just building on top of each other, right? Because I was resting, I was able to reflect more. Because I was reflecting, now I knew what I wanted to realign. And so that's my third R, is the realignment. Is when I thought about what was working, what was not working, I then thought, okay, next step here is, what do I want my schedule to look like? And I started doing for those of you who are connected with me on LinkedIn, and we may be sending emails back and forth together, you may have noticed that I always have a away message on my emails. Now, in case you ask, yes, this is a LinkedIn Premium perk. So if you are on the free version, you will not have access to this. But if you are on Business Premium or Sales Navigator, you do have the option to turn on your away message. And this has been a really awesome tool for me in the sense of helping people to understand and helping me to set boundaries of what I wanted my schedule to look like. It was at a point where I used to have this really unhealthy, it was a very toxic level of urgency, that I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to respond to everyone's email right away within the next 24 hours, blah, 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 or I was going to miss out, right? Like I had this huge FOMO component of, oh no, blah, 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 right? And I think that that's also something that as a business coach that I want to, what's the right word? Like dismantle that. I want for you to understand that having urgency when it comes to your sales, like it doesn't have to be from that, like it has to be closed in 24 hours, so you have to respond. Like that is such an unhealthy way of thinking about sales. And I want to do sales in a way that comes easy, simple, and exciting for me. So I no longer want to teach that. I want to reflect what I want to see, how I want to feel in business, what I want the results to be. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things that I've done, as I said, is in my away message, in my LinkedIn message, what I did was I put in my away message, thanks for your patience. Just so you know, there is going to be a delay in my response to you. I will only respond if I have, number one, time, and number two, most importantly, energy alignment. So thanks for your patience, right? And like it's just one of those things where it really helped me to realign, to set those protective boundaries in place. It really made me feel like I don't have to succumb to this toxic sense of urgency that, let's be real, came from corporate. And I am still 7 years later, 7.5 years later, I'm still reworking that. I am reframing, reprogramming so that my masculine energy doesn't become attached or addicted to that. So that's one of the things I'm doing for realignment. The other piece here is I've come to realize literally just as of yesterday that I am a really generous person, and that is how God made me, and I embrace it. And there comes a point where my generosity does require reciprocity. And if my generosity does not come with reciprocity, then I'm not going to necessarily feel that like I'm not getting a value trade, right? And let's just be really fucking honest. At the end of the day, if we are not getting what we have, what we're giving in kind, like nobody fucking wants to deal with that, right? And so one of the things that I've started to implement in my schedule has been 30% of the things on my schedule is from a place of generosity, where it could be me gifting my time, my energy, my expertise for people, free of charge, complimentary. 30%. The remaining 70% of my schedule needs to be in kind, reciprocity. And that could mean monetarily, it could mean trading knowledge, expertise, energy in kind, right? Like I'm not just gonna hop on a shit ton of virtual coffee chats because I went to a networking call and I don't even know you. I did a like speed networking event, and which I, side note, don't like doing. So this is like a bad example because I don't do it. But anyway, this is the reason why I don't do it. I don't do speed networking because I feel like having 4 to 7 minutes with you is not enough time. And no, I'm not going to drop my Calendly link down here for you to take some time on my calendar to just talk. I don't even know you, right? You don't even know me in return. So to just be fair, I am now protecting 70% of my schedule so that I do have the ability to get back and generosity with reciprocity. And so those are some of the things that I'm doing to realign my time, my energy, and my schedule. As you can tell, I got real passionate right there. And I hope that that also sparks some inspiration for you as well if you're feeling that way. With my resting, reflection, and realignment, also then helped me to relaunch some of the things that I used to do that I didn't do, and now I am doing again. Relaunching, literally in the perspective of relaunching a tall glass of Sass. It's me just going back to what I love, what I enjoy. It's me going back to knowing that this absolutely brings me a lot of joy. It brings me fulfillment. I love being able to share my knowledge and expertise and my stories and my tips and all the things with you all. And I love you so much as a community of mine that I just knew that I needed to go back to what I love. So I wanted to, number one, jump back on and relaunch a tall glass of Sass. Number two, the other piece here that I wanted to relaunch was I used to do paid workshops. I did them way more back in 2023 than I eased up in 2024. And I don't remember why, to be really honest with you. I don't remember why. I think I did only maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 paid events in 2024. And you guys know I'm the queen of LinkedIn events. You all know I do workshops all the time. And with that being said, I will share a little bit of my upcoming workshop here with you in a moment. However, this goes right back to my realignment, right? When I realized that I wanted 70% of my calendar to reflect reciprocity of my generosity, I knew that I couldn't continue doing these free workshops. And it was like, anybody who knows, now, if you've gone to any of my workshops, which if you haven't, I highly recommend, and I want to personally invite you to come, not because I think I'm the shit. I mean, I am, but I should say, and the reality is when I show up on my LinkedIn lives or LinkedIn events or LinkedIn workshops, dude, I am giving you so much value, so much. And I know that. And that's the intention. I don't intend to gatekeep, right? And so, in reflecting in Q1 and also all of 2024, I came to a realization that I could be doing this more from a place of truly being in service for people who are truly ready and interested in investing in themselves, investing in their business to move the needle forward. Because I get it. Who doesn't love a free thing? I get it. And to be honest, it's not like I'm getting rid of all of my free workshops, right? It just got to a point where relaunching some of those paid workshops, I actually had so much more at one, attendance. So the ROI from a numbers perspective was so much higher. Number two, you call in a different kind of client when you have a small ticket. And it's not like I'm charging hundreds of dollars for people to come to my workshop either. This literally is, hey, 22 bucks, right? On April 22nd at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I am hosting a Get Your LinkedIn Profiles Converted from Corporate to Business Success. And you get me walking you through exactly how to set up or elevate your personal profile and your company profile on LinkedIn to set you up for business. Because here's the thing. When you set up your LinkedIn profile for corporate, it's totally different when you set it up for your business. So I will go ahead and include that in the show notes below. It literally is 22 bucks, y'all, for two profiles that you're getting. You're getting a lifetime replay access, but the whole purpose of this is for you to walk away being like, holy shit, my LinkedIn profiles look good. Good. And I am ready to now move to that next step, which is the monetization side that I am so passionate about and I'm really, really good at. But you kind of need to have that as your first, duck in your row in order to monetize. So if you are a career coach, a leadership executive coach, if you are an entrepreneur and you are ready to take hold of LinkedIn and learn how to call in your ideal prospects by truly optimizing your profile so that you not only are seen in the search results, but that people can see you as the go-to expert, that it helps to build your credibility. This is a workshop for you, okay? So with that being said, I'm relaunching more and more of what I know is what I love. And so those are some of the examples that I'm doing. And I'm also relaunching things like what I used to do is I used to do a lot more journaling, and I've come to an understanding that it's something that has to happen in my life. Like relaunching those moments of me time in my schedule is a must have. So, yeah, it's just like fun things like that that I feel like, yes, because I was resting, then I was able to reflect. When I was reflecting, I realized, ooh, I need to have some more realignment with my schedule, my time, and my energy. And then I got to relaunch some of the things that I remembered was easy, simple, and exciting for me that then aligned with all of the time and energy and all the things, right? So yeah, y'all, that was what I spent my Q1 doing. And I am so excited to be able to share more of how this is going to look like, not only here on the podcast, but in my business and my life as well. So, with that being said, I would love to hear from you and let me know what stuck out to you. And yeah, I'm so excited to be back. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.